Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to talk about the top 10 facts about Queens of the Stone Age's 6th album, Like Clockwork. You probably noticed already that Queens of the Stone Age is one of my all-time favorite bands, and so why not make more videos about them, right? The facts that we're going to talk about in this video are probably some that you already know if you're a hardcore fan of Queens of the Stone Age, but I promise you there might be some that you don't know already, so make sure you stick with me and watch the entire video. So starting off at number 10, the LaBelle Lady Marmalade reference. In an interview on Live on Letterman back in 2013, Josh Homme mentioned that the first part of If I Had a Tail, the lyrics that go itsy gitsy ooh la la, do run run, this was actually a reference to LaBelle's Lady Marmalade. And the second part of that phrase from If I Had a Tail was inspired by Sean Cassidy's The Do Run Run. These were obviously songs that Josh Homme listened to when he was younger, and somehow they ended up in one of the songs on this album. Number 9, the first record. So back in 2011, Queens decided to reissue their first debut self-titled album, and the reason why they wanted to do this was partially because they wanted to go on a tour and play this album over again from start to finish, a series of concerts that personally I really regret missing out on because I love that album. But the second reason why they wanted to reissue this album and play it live was because they wanted to seek inspiration in their old stuff. By going back to their roots, they wanted to be inspired to find something new. But in an interview with the online magazine The Skinny on June 3rd, 2013, Josh Homme said that they simply failed at doing this. Quote, "I was hoping that playing the first record would really inspire me and make me fall in love with music again. But I think I was just lost, looking for something in the dark. And in that dark, I found Like Clockwork." End quote. Number 8, Elton John was a fan. Elton John grew up in England and was obsessed with American radio from a very early age. And actually up until now, he is still obsessed with American music. He was obsessed with everything from pop music to rock music, and that included Queens of the Stone Age. So he was the one who actually engaged Josh Homme and called him to ask him if he could join on this new record. Now, Elton John was not a stranger to collaborating with rock bands. He had collaborated with several rock bands in the past. Now, what would usually happen when he did collaborations with bands like Queens of the Stone Age and others was that they would have a finished demo for him, and it would usually be a demo that would be a ballad. That's sort of the area where most people would imagine Elton John would fit in. But Homme wanted to give Elton John a challenge, and so they did Fairweather Friends Together, which is one of the more hard rock leaning songs on the album, and it was probably a breath of fresh air for Elton. Number 7, attempted comeback. When ex-Queens bassist and vocalist Nick Oliveri heard that Dave Grohl, his earlier bandmate in Queens of the Stone Age, was invited to play drums on this new record, he was very, very eager to jump in and ask Homme if he could join as well. Nick had worked with Queens on previous albums such as Rated R and Songs for the Deaf, but was then fired because of outrageous and violent behaviors during live acts. Although they went through turbulent times, Nick and Josh managed to stay friends throughout this time, and that is also probably the reason why Nick believed that he could come back into the band again during the recording of this album. But when he asked Homme, the Mini Mansions frontman Michael Schumann had already taken the spot, so bad luck, I guess. He did get a guest spot on the new album though, and contributed backing vocals on the 4th track, If I Had a Tail. Number 6, the new drummer. During the recording of this album, drummer Joey Castillo, who had been the drummer for quite a while in Queens, decided to leave, and so there was a lot of uncertainty of who would fill in his spot. Because of this, there were actually a handful of people that recorded the drums for these tracks. On The Vampire of Time and Memory, Josh Homme himself actually recorded the drums. Their ex-drummer from back in the Songs for the Deaf days, Dave Grohl, came to record track number 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. Joey Castillo did provide some drum tracks on tracks number 1, 2, 3, and 6. And then John Theodore came out of the blue and recorded the title track like Clockwork. And as you might already know, John Theodore became the full-time drummer ever since that time and onwards. In the past, he played for bands like One Day as a Lion, Golden, Royal Trux, but he's probably more famous for playing in the progressive and Latin-inspired rock band, the Mars Volta. He ended up leaving that band because he wanted more creative freedom, and it seems like he's found that creative freedom in Queens of the Stone Age. Number 5, the cover. The album cover was inspired by still photos from the 1931 film Dracula. And the guy who made the actual artwork is an artist called Boneface, and he went on to create the album artwork for the consecutive album Villains as well. Now, there's 3 versions of this cover. There's the original red background, then you have a blue version, and this is very similar to what the band did with Rated R, because Rated R also has a red and a blue background, as released as 2 different versions. But then you also have this black cover, which apparently was a Black Friday limited edition. So there you go, 3 different album covers, but same album. Number 4, a broad palette of collaborators. Queens have had a long history of inviting several guests onto every single album they release, and this didn't change this time around. The original lineup for this album was Josh Homme, obviously, Troy Van Leeuwen, Dean Fertitta, and Michael Schumann. The guest artist was naturally a little bit longer and consisted of Dave Grohl, Joey Castillo, Nick Oliveri, Mark Lanegan, Trent Reznor, Jake Shears, Alex Turner, Elton John, John Theodore, Charlie May, Philip Shepard, and James LaBelle. Number 3, first Queens album to top the Billboard. Believe it or not, but Like Clockwork was the first and the only album to reach the top of the Billboard Top 200 list. It was nominated for 3 Grammys, and amongst fans and critics alike, it has the reputation of being one of the highlights of their entire discography. I can totally see why that's the case. I mean, Queens of the Stone Age have always evolved their sound. This album took their sound to a whole new level in terms of both sound, but also the lyrics. The lyrics felt a lot more real to a lot of fans, which is ironic because Josh Homme has always tried to write as real as he can, but I guess this album and the lyrics just hit the market and the music industry at the perfect timing. Number 2, Trent Reznor as a producer. The band initially wanted Trent Reznor to produce the album. I don't know exactly why they wanted him to do it, maybe because they've collaborated in the past and they know that Trent Reznor is an amazing producer with a lot of experience, not just with his own music in Nine Inch Nails, but also with films, so he's very versatile in his way of doing things. We know for a fact that Trent Reznor was working on his own Nine Inch Nails project, Hesitation Marks, between 2012 and 2013, which was, the period where Like Clockwork was recorded as well. So it's easy to assume that he was very busy with his own things at the moment, and that's probably the reason why he said no to this job. Although he was really busy during this time, he did manage to produce some sounds and do some vocals for their song Collapsia, and he also provided backing vocals in Fairweather Friends. Number 1, the near-death experience. Josh Homme, the frontman of the band, was hospitalized for 13 days back in 2011. Apparently he got the sickness or disease called MRSA, which is very dangerous for people who have a lowered immune system, and that was the case for him, sadly, during that time. He had been doing several years of partying and little sleep, and naturally, because of these things, his immune system was damaged. So he had a very hard time getting rid of this MRSA, and down the hall in the hospital where he was hospitalized, there was actually another person who died of that same disease during the time he was there. And if that wasn't bad enough, he was going to have this surgery, and during the surgery, the doctors failed to reoxygenate his blood, so his heart stopped beating, he basically choked to death, and he was dead for I don't know how long, maybe a few minutes. Luckily, they managed to get him back to life, but the effect of this was that he had to stay in the hospital and stay in bed for 4 months, and he couldn't have many visitors at all, or at least he couldn't have any physical contact with people because he still had the MRSA, which was apparently a contagious disease. And if those things weren't traumatic enough, when he woke up from that surgery, he kind of lost his ability to hear music in his head, which was an ability that he apparently had ever since he was a very young person. So he lost a part of himself, and it's this losing this part of himself and this state of depression that he got into after the surgery that fueled a lot of the lyrics. It became inspiration for the lyrics and the sounds of this album. So there we have it, Like Clockwork. It's an amazing album by Queens of the Stone Age. It's actually one of my favorites, probably in my top 3 of their albums. Let me know what you think about the album in the comments below. Make sure you follow me on Lee Likes Music over on Instagram. I constantly try to help people create their own channels about their music scenes of their hometowns, their favorite music genres, their favorite bands, whatever type of video essays or videos like these that you want to create yourself. I would love to help you do exactly that. So make sure you send me a PM over on Instagram, and I would love to give you some tips on that. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Cheers.